Hey guys, it's Kwana, and I'm back again for another review. It's Wednesday, so let's dig into The Handmaid's Tale, Season 3, Episode 12, entitled Sacrifice. All right, so spoiler alert, we're going to be recapping, and then I'm going to be giving you my thoughts about the episode. And I'm going to try to make this video a little bit shorter, so I'm not going to hit every major point, but I will be spoiling some of the major plot points of the show. Before we get started, please do me a favor and hit the like button as well as subscribe to my channel so that you can get a drop every Wednesday when we watch The Handmaid's Tale. All right, so the episode was tonally very calm in comparison to how explosive last week's episode was. However, a lot happened. All right, so let's talk about it. All right, so the first major thing is that we got a chance to see the Waterfords now being held in Canada, but under the authority of the Americans. Of course, you know, we have Sam Yeager playing Mark, who was like the coordinator of this little siege. And we get the first inclusion of the title Sacrifice because we do find out that Serena Joy has sacrificed Fred Waterford so that she can be with Nicole. It's so delusionary, but they have this moment where she confronts him, which was very stupid. I didn't understand the point, from a personal character driven perspective of, I guess she just needed closure, but why would you go to him? I guess she wanted to tell him to be careful about what he said and to save himself so that he didn't do anything that would cause issues. And he ends up realizing that she was the one who did all of this and about starts to choke her out. I was like, well, what did you think he was going to do? So that was idiotic. But anyhow, so then we see Luke and Moira bringing baby Nicole, or baby Holly, because that's her real name, baby Holly, to the little detention center or whatnot. And I'm like, why do they have to do this? Like, why would they even agree to this? Like, you're putting this baby in the midst of this. This is not that baby's mother. She didn't birth that baby. All she did was hold this woman down while her husband raped. As Moira said, snaps to Moira because she was like, all you did was hold her down while your husband raped her. But I digress. So she gets time to spend with baby Nicole / Holly. And the baby is like, I don't know you. You not my people. And I just kind of got tickled inside a little bit. I mean, from the perspective of if any person actually lost their real child or was going through like an adoption and something like this happened, it would be tragic. But no, I'm sorry. Again, repeat to last week when I said I feel nothing for Serena Joy because she has made me not feel any. Her actions are unforgivable at this point. She hasn't done anything sympathetic. I digress. So then Luke goes and confronts Fred and brings out this whole behind binder of like everything that he's learned about Fred and all of the information, like he's about to go to work. And then they get into it. And I just couldn't understand. Fred tried to come back at Luke and say, well, what did you do? I saved lives. I helped to create this world that brought children back into it. What did you do when all the children were dying? And I was waiting for Luke to say, I had my own child, which was helping to repopulate the world. And my wife and I would have had more children had you not stolen her from me. Like, bye. Like, miss me with all of that, sitting on your high mighty horse or whatever. So anyway, Luke hauls off and starts attacking Fred, because let's face it, we knew he would. You know, he was going to come with those hands, and then the guard tried to stop them. And so that's basically where things left off. Now, Mark obviously is still kind of interested in Serena Joy because he's bringing her pizza and whatnot and bringing her things to read and trying to, I guess, rehabilitate her. I guess he does see that she's a victim of Gilead as well. But again, I'm going to say it for the third and final time. You can miss me with all of that, okay? All right, so then we have the June and the Lawrence household. And we have the plot to rescue the 52 children continuing to unfold. Now, Lawrence is meeting with some commanders who simply think that Commander Winslow, I forgot his name for a second, that he was just missing. He's just MIA. His wife, of course, shows up later and is all crying and thinks that maybe the same thing that happened to the Waterfords happened to him. And so they're sitting around praying about it. And she kind of confronts June, like, "Are you gonna pray too?" I was giggling inside. I thought that was so funny. Anyway, the major thing is, of course, the commanders in Gilead want to basically go to war with Canada slash the Americans for taking the Waterfords. And Lawrence is trying to talk them down. This is not how you do policy. This is not how you do foreign affairs. This is not how you do engagement. You're not, they're two people. And honestly, like, think about it. Really, how much of a contribution do the Waterfords play that you would really go to war over these two people? And so he's trying to like work on that on the back end because, of course, June reminds him, we got the plane secured to get the kids out, and we got 1 week, and we don't need anything to mess that up. So his job is to shut all that down. Now, out of nowhere, during the prayer service for Commander Stabler, Eleanor starts talking to his wife about rescuing children. And June is side eyeing Lawrence, and I'm side eyeing Lawrence too. Like, your wife is completely crazy. Why would you even remotely tell her anything? You know that she doesn't have any filter. So that my heart was, I was like, oh Lord, they're gonna find out the plan. The wife's gonna steal everything. June's gonna have to kill her. I really thought June was gonna have to completely kill her. So anywho, June eventually goes shopping, meets up with Rita. Her and Rita hold hands for 2 seconds. Rita's like, I want to help. You see this face, right? I don't know if I 100% trust Rita yet. Like, Rita's all like, I'm proud of you. But Rita was a little snaky too. Like, at the beginning, she's like, oh, whenever June was in the Waterford's household, oh, you missed your period. Yay, you're going to have a baby. And I'm like, she was raped. Raped. I can't. I just can't with some. So I'm like, there are times when Rita can be okay, but I'm just like, I would not be so quick to be including all of these people into this plan because you got too many mouths going on. So anyhow, they get back to the Lawrence house. Plans are placed. Lawrence is able to kind of quiet things down. Well, not yet. So pause. Shocking moment of the night is Eleanor dies. Now, she kind of goes into a rest, and I don't know, I couldn't see because, again, darkness, but whether she took something and overdosed over or whether it was just a natural thing. But June goes in to take her food, and June does not do anything to help her, and then kind of quietly backs out the room, leaves the tray, and lets her die. So Eleanor is dead. Rest in peace, Eleanor, because she was one of the sweet people, who was just a little touched in the head. And we have to kind of feel some sympathy for her, but, silently there's relief because now she can't disclose the plans to rescue the children. So they bury her, and I completely thought that Gilead was going to come out and say, like, she killed herself or she was going to go to hell or something like that. But they didn't. They had a cute little ceremony. All the wives were there with their little blue hats and their little veils, and June was in the back with Aunt Lydia watching over everything. And this is like Aunt Lydia. I think that she must be getting paid because she showed up on set and said literally 2 words and then bounced. And I was like, I wonder how much you get paid for that. Like, how much you get paid just to sit in the background as like a main headlining star, say 2 words and then dip out. I have to research that. Anyhow, that happens, and then June goes. Before the funeral ever starts, Lawrence does say he secured the borders, and I guess they feel sympathy for him because he's in mourning. So at the funeral, June walks up to him and is like, do you want to be alone? And he doesn't say anything. And he gives her this look. And y'all, did you see the look? I saw the look, and I was like, he knows. He knows that she did not save Eleanor. And then they do this close-up shot, because every episode has to either start or end with a close-up shot of June's face. Can we do something different in season 4? I'm just saying. And it's just her eyes. And obviously, Eleanor was like the other sacrifice. So we have Fred, who was the sacrifice to Serena so that she could be with Nicole, and then we have Eleanor, who was the sacrifice in order for them to save the children. So it was a cute little episode. Like I said, some big things happened, but it wasn't a lot in the movement towards saving the kids. And being that we only really have 1 episode left, I'm wondering if we're actually going to see them rescue the kids. Obviously, something is going to have to happen climactic to get us to season 4. And we do know a couple of things. We do know that They don't know where Hannah is, or Hannah is too far away for them to rescue Hannah, so June won't be leaving. We do know that they've got next episode is going to be trying to get these kids out, and I think something's going to happen where they're not going to be able to use the plane, and they're going to have to like scatter and go on the run or something. That's my theory. So I have basically my theory is either they're going to be on the run, or they're going to get the kids out, but then all of the adults will be on the run or something like that. So we'll see. And we'll see whether or not Lawrence makes it on that plane, and whether or not he's able to go to Canada and be treated differently than the Waterfords simply because he's coming in with 52 kids. Or is he going to, in his grief, sabotage the plans? That could happen too, and that could be a wild card that June isn't banking on. So those are all things that could happen, and we only have 1 week left until the end of the season. So do me a favor and tell me your theory down below. What do you think is going to happen in the finale? And we'll see you next week, and I'll see you next week. So until next time, toodles!